Hey, welcome to another episode of the Innovation Mindset Podcast, powered by the Moran College of Entrepreneurship. I am Mark McNees, your host. And in studio today, we have a special guest who just spoke at 5 Under 30, an annual event at Moran College, where 5 people who started companies under the age of 30 come and share their experience. And today we have Abbie Garcia-Tunon, who is the founder and CEO of GT Stitchery. Abbie, thank you so much for coming in. How are you doing today? And tell us a little bit about your company.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Abbie Garcia-Tunon. I'm the founder of GT Stitchery, an embroidery business in Miami, Florida. And it started out as I was a seamstress, and then it kind of evolved into an embroidery business where I embroider anything from hats to tassel bracelets, bags, and towels. You name it, pretty much I stitch it. So
very nice. So are you doing kind of like one-off stuff? Or are you doing like mass stitching? Like, is it like a minimum order, like 10,000 pieces or?
No. It's mostly one-off, but I do bulk orders. I have 3 10 needle machines, like massive machines, but not the multi-head machines. So that's what I'm doing. I mostly do like, holiday shirts for kids or backpacks that'll have their names on it. So mostly one-offs.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. And what year did you start this business?
So I was a seamstress. I started my business probably in 2013.
Okay.
There was a company that would ship me fabric, and they would tell me what to sew, and then I'd ship it back that same week. So that's how it really started. But I guess rewind a little bit, my mom was always sewing, and I never really wanted to sew. But then in college, I had all these college T-shirts that I wanted to make into T-shirt quilts. I didn't know what to do with, and my roommates also had them. So I would spend late nights figuring out on YouTube, calling my mom. I also had a professor. I found a mentor in a FSU professor, Wanda Brown, who she kind of took me under my wing and really showed me that like my hobby could turn into something bigger.
That's nice. What college is she in?
She's no longer teaching now, but she was working with, I think, textiles. And, yeah. So
nice. Before we get really into your business, I want to learn a little bit more about you and your past, your upbringing, if your parents are immigrants and all that kind of stuff. I want to just hear about like you growing up. What were your influences? What was your childhood like? And did you have anybody modeling entrepreneurship for you?
So I was born and raised in Maine. My dad, very different from Tallahassee.
Yeah.
My dad is now retired, but he was a lobsterman.
Oh, wow.
So he would wake up before, I have 2 siblings. So before we were even up, he was already on the boat. He would work, I think, 7 to 8 months out of the year on his boat. He wouldn't spend the night there, not like what you see in like on TV shows, but he would work from like 5 in the morning until like 4 in the afternoon. And so he's probably the hardest working person that I know. And he always taught me that hard work will pay off, putting in the time, and really the grit is what, is the foundation of everything. My mom, she was born in Canada. She moved to the States when she was 11. She was self-employed, and she was a title abstractor, and she did that because she wanted to be present for my siblings and I. And she, instead of having her business compete with our lives, she made it like work around it. Okay. And I knew that that's what I wanted for my family too.
Okay.
She's also very driven. She will jump into anything that she's really passionate about full force. Like she'll be the director of this. And so I think that I saw that drive that she has, and I was like, okay, I want to be like that too. So both of them kind of showed me what it was like to work hard and have that grit. I also grew up, my family owns a all-girls summer camp.
Oh, wow.
It's on Lake Sebago in Maine. And for 7 weeks out of the summer, we were in cabins doing archery, canoeing, water skiing, all that, sailing, you name it.
That sounds delightful.
It was great. And it was great also because I learned how to live with other girls and outside of my family. Even though my mom was the director, anytime there was a thunderstorm, I would like run to her cabin scared, because I started when I was probably sleeping in a cabin like at 4.
Oh, okay.
Because I grew up there, but it was, it definitely molded me into an independent woman, and I feel like that really shaped me too. I was also playing every sport you could imagine.
What kind of sports did you like to play?
I did. My main sport was swimming, and I actually got a scholarship to swim at FSU.
Oh, wow.
Which is how I ended up in Tallahassee.
Okay.
But I did lacrosse, soccer. I was even diving for a while.
All right.
You name it.
Wow.
I loved it. I loved it all.
Is sport still part of your life?
Sport is definitely still part of my life. I'm super competitive, but now it's in a different way. I am, although I don't jump in the pool as much as I wish I could, I am training for a marathon. I'm doing the Boston Marathon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You qualified. Nice. Where did you qualify at?
I hate to say it because we're at FSU, but I ran on a course at UF.
Okay.
They had, I think it's called like I don't know. It was a out and back, super boring, but it was flat and fast, and it was a great time.
Yeah.
It was really cold. It was last January, and they actually had to postpone it a day because it was lightning. So they had canceled it, and I'm like, oh, I trained for like months for this to cancel it, and then they're able to move it to the next day, and it was like 36 degrees. So I couldn't feel my toes, but it was great for running. So
yeah, no, it's definitely cold.
Yeah,
the only marathon I've ever run was after biking 112 miles and swimming 2.4 miles.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. My first marathon was at the end of my first Ironman.
Well, you've got to do it without all that before. Wow.
I actually, when I crossed the line, I swore I would never run again.
Yeah, but you will.
No, I won't.
No?
No, I hate it. I hate running.
My gosh.
So I love surfing. I love beach volleyball. Those are my loves, and I don't love running. I love cycling. I love swimming. I even wrote a book called Immersion. I swam from Alcatraz Island.
No.
Yeah.
I got to read your book.
How cool is that? Just kind of that experience of that swim and as a metaphor for life and things like that. So kind of fun.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wow. Nobody ever paid me to swim or gave me a scholarship to swim. I'm not a fast swimmer, but I'm a strong swimmer.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I can swim forever. There's actually, have you ever done there's this on my bucket list. There's a swim around the Keys. Have you heard about this?
No.
Yeah, that's on my bucket list.
How long is it?
There's different lengths, but I think the shortest one is like 12 miles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have to have like a support crew with you and things like that.
Wow.
But that's something that I would like to do eventually.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I swam across Sebago Lake, and I don't know. I want to say it was like 7 miles, but I don't know. And they're snapping turtles.
Okay.
So I was scared of the snapping turtles, so I didn't wear goggles. And so when I came out on the other side, my eyes were like bloodshot red. It was awful. So I don't know. If I were to swim with you on the Keys, I would for sure be wearing goggles and have a lot of support, food and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's always sounded really interesting.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And you live in Miami, right?
I live in Miami.
So I'm surprised you haven't heard of it.
So when you do it, give me a call.
There we go. So tell us a little bit about like your postgraduate. When did you graduate from FSU?
In 2008, undergrad.
Okay.
And then I actually got the ACC postgraduate scholarship. And at that time I was like, I don't know what I want to do. In undergrad, I did child development and nutrition.
Okay.
Just because I knew I always wanted to be a mom, but I had no idea. I was like I don't know. Swimming was my focus in college. And then I received that postgraduate scholarship. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll go and move to Fort Lauderdale. There was like a culinary institute there. Thank God I didn't do that because I'm a terrible cook. And then I ended up getting into FSU and for grad school, and I did sports management, and I was a graduate assistant in the athletic department.
Okay.
And that's when I started sewing.
Okay.
And so
Cool.
it was about that time.
So how long after you graduated did you go into a different career path, or did you go right into entrepreneurship?
So when I graduated in 2010, I got a job in Seminole Boosters.
Okay.
Which I really loved, and it was great for me because FSU gave me so much. A scholarship, a family, the ability to get 2 degrees, and I wanted to give back. And what a better way than working for Seminole Boosters, where they fundraise to give back to the athletic department. So
is that where you met your husband?
that is where I met my husband.
Okay.
Yep. He works for Seminole Boosters. He's the South Florida rep, Javi Garcia-Tunon.
Okay.
Actually, he was working in the athletic ticket office. When I was working for Boosters, he was still running. Sorry, I'll rewind a little bit. I met him. He was a runner at FSU, a hurdler, 3-time NCAA champion.
Okay.
And he redshirted his first year because he did the hurdles. And in high school, you do 300 hurdles. So you have to transition to the 400 hurdles. And so a lot of the hurdlers will take the first year to figure it out because it's a whole different race.
Right.
So he still had one more year of eligibility when I was in grad school. And he was the student athlete advisory president. And I oversaw that committee. So that's really when I got to meet him and spend time with him. So fast forward, he graduated. He was working in the ticket office. He was actually competing overseas on the circuit, the circuit over there running. And my boss came into my room and he was like, hey, do you think that Javi would want to be the South Florida rep for Seminole Boosters? And I was like, sold, because we were just about to get married. And I knew that when we had kids, he wanted to be near either my family or his. And there was no way I could get him to move up to Maine. A Miami boy, no way.
Yeah, no.
So
Maine's cold.
it's very cold. Yeah.
So you have kids?
I have 3 kids.
Yeah, and what are their ages?
11, almost 10, and 7.
Okay, and are they into any sports?
Very into sports. Yep. I've been here 2 days and I've already missed like 4 games.
Oh, wow. What kind of sports do they play?
They do basketball, soccer, flag football, and running.
Okay.
Track and field, cross country.
So you guys are busy. That's
Very
a very
busy.
busy age
Yes.
for kids because they're doing all sorts of stuff and they can't get there on their own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would imagine a big part of your day is driving around.
I love it. And you know what? I think back to my mom and my dad. They did it for us.
Yeah.
And so now here we are running around Miami trying to figure out how I can slip myself into 3 ways or, calling in for help. So
yeah. Wow. So what made you was there a catalyst of you moving into being an entrepreneur and starting GT Stitchery?
I think it was that I was working for Seminole Boosters and I had this side hustle. And then when I had my 3rd kid, I was like, I can't do all of this. This is crazy. So I stopped working for Seminole Boosters and I was a seamstress full time. And then COVID hit. And even though that was very challenging, the kids were home, it allowed me to have more time to sew. And I started donating and making masks for local retirement communities and healthcare facilities. And then when my kids went back to school, I made them like these really cool masks out of fabrics that with character fabrics or things that they were interested in. And I would embroider their names on the side so that they wouldn't mix up their masks with the other kids at school. And so immediately after that, their friends, teachers, and strangers would come up to me and say, hey, where did you get those masks? Actually would make them out of little elastic was made out of tights.
Okay.
So it was super comfortable.
Yeah.
They could wear them all day. I mean, masks are terrible, but
Yeah.
I tried to make it fun and comfortable. So that's kind of where it took off. I couldn't keep up with my basic sewing machine that had a little embroidery attachment. So I invested in a 10 needle sewing machine, not knowing at all how to use it.
Okay.
So back to the sewing, I would stay up late figuring it out on YouTube, like researching, practicing, failing, doing it again, and just learning as I went, and it took off. So
that's awesome. So 2013 and it's 2026. So 13 years you've been in business. So that's amazing. If you're comfortable, could you tell us about maybe one of the most challenging times in your business, and what was it, and how did you resolve that issue?
A challenging time in my business. I think learning that slow growth is still growth.
Yeah.
There's some times when my family has to come first, and that it's okay to ask for help, to delegate, and delegate my weaknesses so that I can focus on my strengths. There's times when I would sign up for a bazaar, and then my kids had a competition that I couldn't miss, or they were in a play, and I had to call the company and say, I'm really sorry, I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to put my family first. Just learning what to say yes to, and being okay with the no's. So
no, that's super important. Learning capacity,
right.
and having your priorities and sticking to those.
And I'm still learning. I would love to be better at delegating, but little by little it gets easier. So
yeah. 13 years is a long time, and like just keeping focused and keeping the main thing and stuff like that. Any mindset stuff that you do, any practices that keeps you focused or keeps things in perspective for you?
I think that going back to sports, it's the hard work pays off.
Yeah.
I get up at 4:00 in the morning to get my workout in, because for me, that's like meditation.
Yeah.
If I start my day like that and calm and getting a sweat in, then I'm on the right foot. Yeah. I also try to find little pieces in the day that I'm going to look forward to and be grateful for. I write down every day 3 things that I'm grateful, like gratitude journal. And I think that, and then at the end of the day, I'll write down 3 things that were 3 good things that happened today. And I think that if I'm looking for those good things, then I end up finding more than 3.
Right.
And I think that if you have that positive mindset, it can take you anywhere. If you're looking for negative things, like my order this morning was late, and that can also spiral as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love the gratitude journaling, and I've done that for many years. Just starting my day, being thankful for what I do have, and because I think it's really easy to get negative, right? And just focus on the negativity and get down and forget why you're doing what you're doing. And I think just being, that practice of gratitude, I think, is so fruitful. I think it rewires your brain.
It does. It's great.
And makes you feel a lot better, about whatever you're going through.
Exactly.
So that's really cool. That's what you do. So as far as you said, slow growth is still growth, which is true. Your family's first. You have your business and everything. Are you at a place where you're like, okay, I'm really happy where we're at and I don't want to grow more? Or is there aspirations for your company that you're like, this is our next mountaintop?
I think right now most of my orders come online, and I'll also do on the spot embroidery at events, which has really taken me it's taken me around the world. I was
Nice.
asked to open an embroidery business or an embroidery shop on a cruise ship. And that experience was insane. Just from figuring out how to get these 2 10-needle machines onto the ship
Right.
and everything that goes along with it within 2 weeks was crazy. And I think experiences like that show me that I can step out of my comfort zone and I can do these great challenges, but there's a time and a place. And I think that right now I'm pretty good. I feel pretty good at where my business is at. I would eventually like to hire more people and have, my shop open all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I have a showroom and a shop where I work and fulfill orders. But I really only open it for events.
Mm-hmm.
So along the lines, I would like to have it open all the time so customers can come in every day. But I want to be present with my family and be able to pick up my kids from school. And that's the delegating part that I need to be better at and trusting people to help me out. So,
yeah. One of the best leadership lessons I ever learned, I was at a conference and I actually forgot who said it, but it really impacted me at the time. He said, as a leader, try to fill your day with only things that you can do. And if somebody else can do it at 80%, then delegate it.
That's great.
Yeah. And
I
it
love
kind
that.
of rewired the way I thought. It's like, okay, can somebody else do this 80% as well as I can do it? And if the answer is yes, then I do it and get it off I delegate it. And then if it's like, no, this is something that only I can do, then that's my main thing that I did. And I feel terrible. I don't remember who said that,
That's
but
great.
it was like
That's
super,
great advice.
yeah, impactful just on how I viewed leadership and executed leadership. As far as scaling, let's say 5-10 years from now, like what are you envisioning?
I would like to, I don't know right now I have 3 10-needle machines that I'm working on. I think eventually I will probably invest in multi-head machines to do more bulk orders. And I think do more on the spot embroidery, but not me physically being there, training other people so that I can be at every event, but also be at my kids' events as well.
Nice.
So that would be great.
Oh, I love that. I love the balance of work-life balance that you are creating for yourself. That's super cool.
I just know that it's such a short time right now with my kids and they're at such a great age that I want to be present for everything. So there will be a time and a place where I can just take off. But right now I have to balance. And there's never going to be a balance. Like this weekend I'm here and my kids have a million different activities, but that's okay. They're spending quality time with their grandparents but I'm not doing this every weekend. So
no, I totally get it. When I first moved to Tallahassee and my son was 2 and my daughter was 5, and I threw myself into my work, and I feel like I lost 3 years of family life just because I was so hyper focused on what I'm doing. And like, I'm proud of what we built and everything, but I feel like I missed 3 years of my kid's life, and which I did. And like, I look back at that now and say that wasn't a good trade-off, but it was the trade-off that I made at the time. So I'm glad that you identified the importance early.
I'm trying. And like, I look back at my dad, he was always really busy with lobstering, but he had that short time of the year that he could go out there on the boat. But then when the months that he was not fishing, he was very present and at every single activity. And he even took us out of school for 2 months, my dad and my mom, when I was in 5th grade, and we did a motorhome trip around the country.
Oh, that's awesome.
To every single national park, pretty much you can imagine. And that's something, I mean, I don't remember every single stop, but I'll never forget that. So I think for him, that was the balance that he could have. And it worked. And it worked for our family. My mom was there on daily. And then my dad also was there when he could. So, but still working hard and providing for our family. So.
Yeah. I think that's the dark side of entrepreneurship is it can be all consuming, and it's very easy to allow it to be all consuming. And unfortunately, so many successful entrepreneurs lose their family because, well, they can't get out of it. Yeah. They just didn't, I would never be like a billionaire or anything like that because I wouldn't be willing to make the family sacrifices in order to do that. I think it's a terrible trade.
Right. So, exactly. It's hard.
Yeah, it is. So, well, I really appreciate you coming in today and then coming to Tallahassee and speaking at the 5 Under 30. At the end of each podcast, I love to ask my guests if they could go back, and in your case, 2013, before you started GT Stitchery, and you were allowed to tell yourself one thing, just one, what would you tell yourself?
I would say be comfortable saying yes to opportunities, to taking the risk, to being uncomfortable, but then also being okay with saying no and finding the time when, no is the best answer.
Yeah.
So, a balance.
That's a good word. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a great weekend and I really enjoyed being here.
Cool.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Innovation Mindset podcast powered by the Moran College of Entrepreneurship. Hey, if you like this episode, be sure to hit the like button and also be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another amazing issue or episode. We'll see you next time.